Years ago, a friend asked this question: if something you thought was true wasn't, when would you want to know it? Now or later? Obviously, most of us would want to know it now. I want to share with you 7 signs of how we can unknowingly sabotage the most important relationships with the people we love most. Relationships can be one of the most fulfilling parts of life, but they can also be challenging. Sometimes, without realizing it, we might be the ones standing in our own way, sabotaging the love we want and need. Our past experiences, especially from childhood, can shape how we connect with others in our adult life today. If we grew up in an environment where love felt unsafe, or inconsistent, or conditional, these patterns don't just disappear when we become adults. Instead, they show up in our relationships, often in ways that push the very people we want to give love and receive love from away. Recognizing the ways we may be sabotaging our relationships is the first step toward change. So today, we're exploring 7 common ways people unknowingly hurt their relationships and what they can do about it. The first one, the fear of getting too close. One of the biggest reasons people struggle in relationships is the fear of emotional closeness. If love has been painful in the past, it makes sense someone might hesitate to open up again. This fear often shows up as avoiding deep conversations, struggling to ask for what you need, or keeping our partner at a distance, even when they crave connection. On the surface, it may look like independence, but down deep, it's a defense mechanism against getting hurt. For some, growing up in an unpredictable or chaotic home leads to a deep need for control in adult relationships. If things get out of control in childhood, trying to manage every detail of a relationship can feel like a way to create safety. But this often backfires, showing up as making all the decisions, being, being overly critical, or refusing to compromise. While control may bring a sense of security, it can also bring a cause of tension and leading to power struggles that can push a partner away. Another way people sabotage relationships is through an overwhelming fear of being left. If someone has experienced rejection or emotional neglect, they may constantly seek reassurance. They cling to their partner or they react strongly when they sense any distance. Sometimes this fear keeps them in unhealthy relationships because being alone feels even scarier. Unfortunately, these behaviors can create the very outcome that we fear, making a partner feel suffocated and it just increases the chances of separation. Difficulty trusting others. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. But for those who grew up in an environment where they had unreliable caregivers, trusting others can feel impossible. This often leads to questioning the partner's intentions, doubting the stability of the relationship, or assuming the worst, even without any evidence. When trust is weak, constant suspicion and anxiety take over, making it difficult to build deep, lasting connections. And then pushing love away without even realizing it. Sometimes people sabotage their own happiness without even knowing why. They pick fights for no reason. They withdraw emotionally just as the relationship starts getting serious. Or even make choices that lead to a breakup despite wanting love. Often this happens because they came to associate love with pain, and without realizing it, they push people away before they can be hurt. And then there's the struggle with emotional regulation. Emotions play a huge role in relationships, but when someone has unresolved trauma, they may struggle to manage their feelings in a healthy way. This can look like overreacting to small disagreements, shutting down instead of talking things through, or having difficulty expressing emotions calmly. If someone never learned how to navigate their emotions in a safe and supportive way, they may find it very difficult to do so in their adult relationships. And then sometimes repeating unhealthy relationship patterns. One of the biggest signs of self sabotage is falling into some painful relationship patterns over and over again. If someone grew up in an environment where love was unpredictable, they might unconsciously seek out relationships that mirror that experience. They may be drawn to partners who are emotionally unavailable or treat them the way they were treated in the past. The brain is wired to seek familiarity, even when that familiarity isn't healthy. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free and choosing relationships that are truly fulfilling. Unresolved trauma just doesn't affect one person, it affects both partners in a relationship. Often the person struggling with these patterns isn't even aware of them, while their partner may feel confused and frustrated. But here's the important part: you're not stuck. These patterns don't have to define your future. Recognizing them is the first step. And with self awareness, support, and a willingness to heal, it's absolutely possible to create the kind of loving, secure relationships that you deserve. If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, know that you're not alone. And more importantly, that change is possible. The past doesn't have to dictate your future. The love and connection you want are within your reach. And it all starts with understanding yourself better. You can schedule a free strategy session with me on my website, pauldfitzgerald.com. We'll meet online at your convenience and find a path for you to find the freedom from whatever is keeping you from creating your flourishing life.